Okay, thanks for clicking on part 2 of our virtualroof.com demo. If you recall, in part 1 we were looking at the various drives on the server, the H, the K, the L, and the S drive, and we left off with this QuickBooks folder talking about permissions. Also, below, I wanted to, in this video, start off by taking a look at moving files from the local machine up to the server, which you can do at any time you want. We always map your local drives every time you log in. So you'll be able to copy files from your local machine up to the drives on the server anytime you want, and vice versa. So if there's something on the server that you want to have on your local machine for any reason, you can copy that file down to your local machine. That's one of the things that distinguishes us between a lot of the other cloud computing services out there, is that you can copy data down to your local machine, and if you've got the software on your local machine to run that data, like for instance Microsoft Word, and you want to open a Word document, you're able to do that. Even the ACT database, you can back that database up and copy it down to your local machine. Whereas with a service like Salesforce.com, Google, or something like that, something of that nature, you would not be able to do that. So that's a huge difference between us and the rest of those guys. I'm going to go ahead and maximize our screen here for Windows Explorer so we can see things clearly. And I'm going to click on my C drive. Now again, this is my local C drive on my local machine. So right now I'm telling the server in Bellingham, Washington to take a look at what's on my local C drive. And I'm going to just go to this Downloads folder, which again is on my local C drive. And I'm going to find a file in here and I'm going to copy it up to the K drive. So taking a look at this, here, let's grab this Word document down here. It says banner content. And I'm actually going to drag this up and drop it on my K drive, because I want the rest of the employees within the company to have access to this file. So I drug it up and I dropped it on the K drive. And now anyone inside my company would be able to see that file. It's asking me to replace one that already exists, and I'm going to do that. And so anyone that's in the company along with me that has access, or they would have access to that file on the K drive. If I wanted to only limit that access to certain users, then I would drop it in a specific folder that had those permissions set up so that only certain users could see that file. So now if I click on my K drive, you'll see here banner content, and I'm able to open that file now in Microsoft Word just by double clicking it, and there's the document. So again, in anyone within our company, no matter where they're located throughout the world, would be able to open that file and see that, whether they're using a Windows PC, a Mac, an iPad, a Linux machine, whatever, would be able to open that file and take a look at it. So that's how you copy files up, and you just do the reverse to go back down to the C drive. So if I want to copy this file back down to C, let's say I made some changes on it or whatever, and I want to copy it back down to my C drive, I just drag it and drop it back down to C. Of course, copy and paste works as well. Any of the however you're most comfortable with moving files or copying files back and forth from one location to another. Again, this is a Windows environment, so it works just the same as it would on your local machine. Okay, well, let's close out of Windows Explorer and let's launch some applications. I'm going to start off by launching Microsoft Excel, and we're going to again maximize this screen so you can see it clearly. This is the full-blown version of Microsoft Excel, and it's the same version that you would be running on your local machine, or could run on your local machine if it was a Windows-based machine. And I'm just going to type in some numbers here and do an auto sum on those numbers. Okay, there you have it. And let's save this. We're going to save this again to the K drive because I want other people within our company to be able to have access to this Excel spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and create a folder here on the K drive. I'm going to call it VR Demo. And then I'm going to also name the file VR Demo. And we're going to just minimize Excel for a moment. And if I go and take a look at my computer, you'll see that that file is on the K drive. There's the folder we just created, and there's the file. Okay, that's Excel. Let's go to Word. And I'm just going to type some gibberish here so you can see how fast and how responsive it is. It's running just as fast as it would if it were on my local machine. Again, this is a virtual environment. This is happening across the internet. I'm physically sitting in Orlando, Florida. This server, this Word application, is sitting in a data center in Bellingham, Washington. So there you have it. There's Microsoft Word. Minimize Word. And then let's go up to ACT and open up ACT real quick. Now, an ACT database can be shared, so this particular database has multiple users on it, and so it's going to ask me to log in. The login names for the ACT database are the same as they are for the server. They don't have to be. We just did that for convenience sake. So in this particular case, I'm logged into the server as ACT_4. So I'm going to log into the database as ACT_4. The password is the same as it is for the server. It's let me in. And again, these are totally independent of the server login, and they don't have to be the same in your environment. We just made them the same for convenience sake for this demo. Okay, this is the full-blown desktop version of ACT Premium. This happens to be 2010. We host ACT 2000 all the way through 2011. There's a few exceptions to that with some of the versions, but for the most part, we host them all. We've been hosting ACT in this environment for over 8 years. So we were hosting it well before there was an ACT for Web, and I just want to clearly make that distinction that this is not ACT for Web. This is the full-blown ACT desktop version, and one of the ways that I can demonstrate that is if I go to Tools and Define Fields. You cannot go to Define Fields in ACT for Web. So if I go to Define Fields, you can see that I'm now have access to the fields that are part of this database, and I can change the names of these fields. I can add new fields. I can change the security settings of these fields. You can see where someone did that. ACT Premium has field level security on a per user basis, so we can lock certain fields so that users can't either change that field or they can't even see that field. So you have those options. But again, this is only available if you have the desktop version, which is what we're hosting in this environment. So that's a big distinction between us and some of the other hosting providers. And I'm going to just scroll through some of the records here so you can see how fast it moves. And it's moving just as fast as I'm clicking. And again, it's operating just as it would if it was running on your local machine, just as fast. You can also see where some folks, this is a demo account, and so it's kind of open to the public, and some folks have logged in and made some changes and customized this database. They changed the name of this field up here to Intel, and then they changed the name of this one to First Purchase. They didn't do a real good job on the layout. They put the label over the top of these other two fields. But the point is that this is customizable. ACT is customizable in this environment. Not only can you change the names of those fields, but you can edit your layout and make a custom layout. And I'll show you a quick example of that by switching back to my local machine real quick. So again, I'm going to go up to the top. This yellow bar comes down. I click the minimize button, and I'm back to my local machine. And I'm going to go now to my actually to my personal login to the server. And as you can see, this is a customized database for Virtual Roof. We've added our logo up at the top left-hand corner, and we've also added a field down below for current software that someone's using, and we've also changed the color of some of the field labels so that we can highlight the fields that are important to us. Okay, that pretty much wraps it up for part 2 of this demonstration. If you'll go to the right and click on the virtualroof.com demo part 3, you'll see a video on the Outlook ACT integration, as well as ACT marketing, as well as how all of this looks on an iPad.